Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Mad Shad. Great Saturday. It's currently about 30-something degrees. Snow is still on the ground. It's not snowing, but snow is still on the ground. And wind is blowing through my window. Charity is feasting on the skillet that I use to cook my eggs in. So there is that. I am currently suffering from a headache. TBIs are so much fun. So please excuse me if I go off on a tangent or space out on you. So here we go. So I've been trying to figure out. So you guys, most of you guys know where I stand on this whole in NWO and New World Order, whatever, WEF. I call them the elite occultist. And the reason why I call them the elite occultist is they really truly are occultist. They're the deep, dark evil of this world. They really are, and they've grown into prominence through their actions, through their ways, and yeah, you know, even though I'm not a Christian, not really any kind of religion, really, but I do study religions and religious practices and the occult as well. I just study. I look in there and I look into the abyss. I go into the abyss. I see how the enemy thinks, you know, and it's not good. I alluded to this on a live stream with Rage and Cage. They're very sadistic, very S&M. You see that through their actions, through their ways, and even though it's not really proven, because they, you know, how can you prove that somebody is drinking the blood of the innocent, you know, the traumatized innocent, to give them some type of power? I mean, that's the stuff of nightmares, but it's where they dwell. So that's everything that they do, the torture, the rape, the, you know, the very sadistic occult practices that they practice. That's all a microcosm. That's their training, if you will. They train their mind, they harden their hearts, darken their hearts, so that they can carry out these evil deeds, and with no capitulations, to carry on. And you know, it's a hell of a thing to go there and not feel that remorse. See, we have remorse, we have compassion. Us normal folk. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm normal at all, because I've been there. I've been in the abyss watching them. You know, and it's not good. It's not good. It's not a human thing. It's really not. It's so. Even though I'm not a Christian, I know that they believe that they are Luciferian, or they are satanic, or whatever. That they believe that wholeheartedly. And so their power lies in manipulation and lies. It's a great tool. You know, uncertainty, you know, sleight of hand, twist of fate, the mist in the morning to hide their intentions, the dark. They operate in the dark. And so they all have a dark shroud. And they've been able to infiltrate everything. everything, and to pervert everything. So they really are using religion against us, because there's this part, if you've looked at any kind of, you know, society going all the way back to antiquities, there's always been this looming apocalypse that is coming, this prophecy that the end of the world is nigh. And for some societies, that actually did happen. You know, the Ragnarok, the apocalypse, the end of all things, it actually did happen for them. And some would say it's because of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It could be because of a natural disaster or something, and then, whoa, that's it, the game's up, you know. But that indomitable human spirit, you know, that just says, go, keep going, survive, thrive. That's hard to kill. That's very, very hard to kill. But it can be done. And that's how they're doing this. Everything that we have been faced with the fear, the intimidation, the isolation that we've done to ourselves. See, that's the thing. We've done it all to ourselves. We've allowed things to happen, and oh, okay, that's the way it is. Great. I gotta do these things. Meanwhile, they're moving and cornering and locking the doors and putting on the shackles, and, you know, applying the ball gag, pulling out the saws. It's like you just walked into a hostel. The movie Hostel, remember that? Have a seat in the chair. Put your handcuffs on. You do this willingly. And they get off on the terror that the human being feels when they realize that they're trapped. And now that empowers them, the EOs, the elite occultists, to carry out their sadistic plans. All the while knowing that at any point in time, their locked door could be kicked open and they could be taken out. Because there is hope, and that's what I'm talking about here. Even though we're faced with a dark evil, there's also an extremely good light that prevails in this universe. It exists in us all. Even them. They deny it. They just like Star Wars, they've turned to the dark side. Let the hate flow. They feel that they have power in the manipulation. Yet the righteous dignity of sentient beings can prevail over that. So what we're facing is nothing new. This has been carried on for countless millennium. And they work in the shadows to destroy the light. And what they wish to do is one day to be able to stand tall and look down upon us and do what they want. Do to us what they will. But as long as we have our freedom, and we don't put on the shackles willingly, and we don't comply willingly, and we continue to speak out with rage, that scares them. It scares them indeed. That warrior spirit inside us all. That animalistic rage. That primordial rage. That fight or flight. Now is not the time to be afraid. They like that. They like that a lot. And even though it is a human condition, it's easily overcome with rage. When you have that, even though that you are scared shitless, you will bring out that courage in yourself to do what needs to be done. And you will also inspire others as well. That's why free speech is such a dangerous thing to them. That's why they've come up with these concept of wrong speak. You know, labeling, divide and conquer, confuse and isolate. So you don't know what's going on. But we know what's going on. Innately, we all know what's going on. They really, truly believe that they are Luciferian, satanic, that they are, that this is the revelation times, this is the end times, and they shall walk the earth and control it all. They really, truly believe that. And even though they're doing, it seems that they're doing a hell of a good job at it. And, you know, everyone that's been on my trial by axe wall, you can see where they stand. And you see where we know the rocks that they crawl back under. It's the biggest problem, the biggest enemy is being known. Now we know who they are. Why would they show their hand like this? Because they sense that the time is nigh. The end is nigh, and they're about to take advantage, take charge. And that instills a type of power. They have fear. They live in fear at all times. They fear the light. They fear to be known. They fear to be persecuted and judged. And they've insulated everything that we know to help facilitate their plan. Everyone that's been on the wall, and everyone that's not been on the wall yet, like Klaus, these are all puppets. They believe that they are legion because they are many. So they're as scared. They are more scared than we are. So because at any point in time, we could just say, that's enough. We're done. And you're done. And down they go. Back under the rock they slither. Back into the bowels of hell they go to wait. They're the liars in wait. You know. I've studied a lot of, you know, especially the Necronomicon, which is a fake book, by the way, written by H.P. Lovecraft as a horror fantasy kind of thing. But you know, it does talk about some. He did a lot of study into the occult to write that, and he talks about, you know, walking through an evil place in noticing and knowing that the liars and the weight are on both sides of you, and that you should neither look to the left or the right, because once you make eye contact with them, they attack. That's what they need. They need you to look them in the eyes in the darkness, so that they can work that spell upon you and instill fear. It's their way of projecting power. There is actually a scientific thing to it. That's why you stare intently at your opponent, or the prey, because you're studying it, and then that stare down moment when your opponent gives in, and then you attack, at their moment of weakness. But in all actuality, to defeat them, you just look away. They're there. But you don't give them the power. You don't give them the attention that is needed. I learned this as well during astral projection. Yes, I'm getting esoteric on you. There are entities out there in the astral plane where they're ghoulish, devilish creatures. They're either souls of people that are just, they don't know that they're preying upon anyone that catches their eye, that they can catch their eye. And once their eye is caught, they close in and envelop you and try to give you this hellish, nightmarish, and feed off of your fear, your terror. And so in the astral plane, everything is by speed of thought. So the way to combat those is not to take up arms and to fight, because that's what they want. But it's to look away, and you're gone. Think of somewhere else to go, and you're there. It's a hell of a thing to be at the speed of thought, because whatever you think, that's where you go. But they understand this. To be diligent, to be highly observant, and to be able to look upon them and not be affected by their spell. And to give back the same terror and rage, to instill fear upon them, to be able to look at them in that way. And some could say that's with, the light of the Lord, the Spirit of God, and Jesus, and all that. And, that it actually does kind of instill that righteous indignation. I am a righteous warrior of God, that kind of thing. And because Jesus, he talked about, demons just fled from him upon the mere sight of him. We can do that too. And that was Jesus' message. That's why he came here in human form, to show us you can do it too. And there's stories of people, exorcisms, and there's you can feel it when some people walk in a room. They're just like, wow, okay, yeah. And if you're good, you feel it. You're like, yeah, man, what's up, brother? How you doing? But the evil, they run, they hide, they cut their gaze. And as human beings, we like to, as we're talking to people, we like to look at them, A lot of societies find that very rude and confrontational. Other societies find it beneficial and necessary. And I think it is. When you look at a man or a woman in the eyes, or even a kid, we've all seen that look in the kid's eyes. They're taking everything in. They're learning everything. They're experiencing everything for the first time. And you can see that in their face, and it's just like, wow, that's amazing. When you see a man, you're talking to a man or a woman, and you look in their eyes, and it tells you everything. With them, you see that their eyes are just... but only when they feel the need to instill that, work their dark magic, with the evil eye. Oh, evil eye. Then it doesn't, they only prey on the weak. It doesn't work against, real human beings. Strong-willed human beings. And I'm not talking about strong mind, body, and soul. That's the way that they go after that is they use misinformation. And they know intimidation and fear doesn't work, so they have to use misdirection and misinformation to deal with that. Everybody else they can just intimidate and terrorize. So I just wanted to just kind of go down this road. It's not really a dark pill, it's not really a black pill thing, or a red pill or a blue pill. It's kind of a red pill, I'd say. But it's just an observation that I made last night. And I've always, kind of known all these things. When you study things and look at things, you get to experience things for yourself. You see that, and you're like, yeah. So there's been Mad Shad, my observation of the EOs. Encouraging you all to continue to train, continue to prep your mind, your body, your soul. Because we all know it's a mad, mad world out there.